Welcome to this module of Power BI. In this module, we will learn about Microsoft Power BI and how Power BI can actually be used to create very extensive reports. Whatever like data visualization that you have to do, you can do with the help of Power BI. Okay. So, what are the main building blocks of Power BI and what's the different of services that Microsoft is giving within Power BI? That is something that we are actually going to learn about. So here you can see that, if we talk about the popularity of this list of products that we are getting inside Power Platform, I must say this thing that Power BI is one of the most matured service within Power Platform and is being used, is being most widely used. If we talk in terms of like overall user base, you will find out that Power BI is something which is like older than Power Apps and Power Automate and was already like being widely adopted. And especially like the reason being that once again this is a low code visualization service which can be used by any of the users. The people who have already like has lot of experience working on Microsoft Excel find it very easy to switch over to Power BI because like more or less how they were writing formulas inside Microsoft Excel, very similar to that, they can work in a similar way over here. Okay, so what exactly is Power BI? So here you can see this that Microsoft Power BI is basically a collection of software services, apps, and connectors. How we discussed about connectors earlier, even in Power Apps and Power Automate, we saw that how we can go ahead and create make use of connectors to fetch data. Very similar to that here in case of Power BI also, we can very well go ahead and get this data from a varied number of data sources. Whether your data is in a simple Microsoft Excel workbook or it's a collection of cloud-based service like SharePoint or Salesforce or Dynamics 365 SQL, wherever your data is lying, we can go ahead and import this data. We can bring this data, and with the help of this, we can create a very like nice visualization with the help of this. Okay, so here you see this that with the help of this data, how on the right side it is showing that you can create pie chart, bar chart, whatever type of like visualization that you actually want to use, that is something that you can do over here. Now Power BI is designed for self-service business intelligence, and the administrators are just the guardian of data, okay, and processes and policies in the Power BI tenant. Now Power BI administrator will do the overall governance in the sense that how the data will be consumed, who will have access to the data, what kind of reports can be accessed by certain group of people. That means like the entire life cycle management in terms of like from like data modeling and visualization standpoint. You have got a very comprehensive way in which you can secure your reports and do the sharing with the main stakeholders. Okay, so we have got a very like comprehensive model in terms of how you want to like administer all these reports, whatever you are creating inside Power BI. Okay, so here this is simply showing us that if you want to get data, you can very easily go ahead and create to connect to any of these data sources. Now to work with Power BI, the first thing you will have to do is that you will have to download Power BI Desktop. So Power BI Desktop is something that you can very easily search over the web and download it and install it on your machine. And one thing is that Power BI is not part of Office 365. I mean, you don't get the developer license included with Office 365. So this is the reason why if you are like if you want to create Power BI reports that you can share with other users in the organization, then you will have to have a an appropriate Power BI license that you will have to procure, or you will have to ask the administrator to assign you that particular license. So here you see that this is a different type of data sources that we can very easily go ahead and connect to. And then so you want to work with the Power BI editor. So in this case here, I have Power BI desktop, which is already configured, which is already added over here. And you will see this that this is showing us how do you want to get the data. So I can simply based on which is the data source from which you want to get the data, you can go ahead, and whether you want to use Excel, you want to use XML, whatever type of data sources to which you want to connect, you can very easily go ahead and connect to it. Once you have connected to the data, thereafter you can start developing your reports. Whatever report that you have to build, that is something that you can start going ahead and doing it. Now, whatever development that you have to do, that is something that you are actually going to do on your desktop with the help of Power BI desktop tool. Once your report is ready, you can publish it to Office 365. So here on the right side, you can see this, that your Power BI desktop report, once it is ready, you publish it to Power BI service, and from Power BI service, it can be consumed via mobile or desktop, whichever way users want to use this, they can very well go ahead and do it. Okay. From security and administration standpoint, because Power BI more or less is again Power BI service as part of Office 365, in the sense it can be used with Office 365. So similar to how other Office 365 services, how they are they can be secured with the help of Azure Active Directory. Similar to that, here also we can take leverage of Azure Active Directory to protect our items, whatever security that you have to manage, that is something that you can very well go ahead and manage from there. Okay. Now, we can create very powerful reports with the help of Power BI desktop. Okay, so this the reason being that it even gives you integration with a lot of other third-party vendor-based templates and add-ins that you can actually include. So here you see this that Power BI gives you integration with Python, R, and several other programming languages and tools that you can actually bring in over here. Now, whatever you are going to build inside Power BI, that is something that so here it is showing us that whether it is in Excel or Power BI, you can very well go ahead. It can seamlessly integrate with Power BI service. So please don't get confused with this. Power BI service is basically your representation on Office 365. When you use it with Office 365, when you are publishing your report from desktop to Office 365, that is we are putting our Power BI desktop based report on Power BI service. Okay, and whatever distribution and other thing that you are actually going to do from Office 365 will actually be the responsibility of Power BI service. Okay, so what is the step to create a Power BI report? If I want to develop a Power BI report, then how exactly I can do it? So here it is showing us that this is how you basically these are 5 main steps that you will have to actually follow whenever you want to work with data inside Power BI. So the first and foremost task is to get your data. You bring your data from whichever data source that Power BI supports. You can go ahead and fetch this data. Once you get this data will actually create local data set. You will never be directly working with the original data source. Please understand, it's not similar to Power Apps or Power Automate, how you are actually going ahead and directly working with live data. When we are working with Power BI, in Power BI, you connect to the data, and the first time when you are building a report on Power BI desktop, you will be getting that data and creating local data set. It will create data sets which will be exactly the replica of whatever data that you have actually imported. And then you go ahead and start making changes onto this data set, right? So you make changes to the data set, and within the data set you can go ahead, add columns, remove columns. You have to do some sort of calculation, filtering of the data, main like analysis you do, and then you do data massaging, cleansing. You don't need few of the columns. You can go on cleaning and preparing your data. Once you have prepared your data, thereafter what you need to do is that you can just like go ahead and use whatever like visualization report that you have to use. You just go ahead and use it. And so for an example, you can use a pie chart, bar chart, a stacked column chart as to like what exactly you want to, or what information you want to show to the users. And once you have built this report, now there's like a lot of things that you can do inside the report. You can create reports that can drill through. That means like take a very simple example that we are showing revenue for entire year. Now the CEO of the company, when he clicks on the revenue for that year, he wants to see quarterly breakdown, that okay, on a quarter basis what has been the revenue. When he clicks on quarter, it should show the breakdown based on month. So this is something which we can create with the help of a drill down report that we can very easily create inside Power BI. Now once you have created this report, thereafter what we can do is that we can simply publish this report, whatever report that you actually develop, the dashboard that you have created. Yep. So basically like once you have created report, thereafter you can create a dashboard using this report, and you can share this dashboard or report with other users in your organization. So here this is what is showing that these are the 5 main steps that you will have to actually follow. Now once you have this report created, what you can do is that very well you can go ahead and build comprehensive dashboards. Okay, you can create very comprehensive dashboards and use it. So here for example I can show you one of the dashboards over here. So this is a simple report that has been created. In the demo section I'll show you that how this report was created step by step, starting from like data preparation, how we have got the data, created the relation, and then we have created this report, and I have published it to my Power BI environment. Okay, so here in this case this is Power BI. In Power BI this is my workspace, and inside my workspace here you will find out that this is a dashboard, right? So this is a dashboard that has been created. Is a dashboard where like you can even ask several questions. Yep, so I can go ahead and ask several questions once this Power BI dashboard has been created. Okay, so you will have within Office 365 a long list of like you can manage different workspaces based on how you actually like want to organize your reports. That is something that you can do easily. Okay, so this is simply showing us that how we can like connect to data. This is showing a set of like sample data. As already like pointed out, we can connect to any type of data sources whatever Power BI is supporting. In the demo section I'll show you that how we can use common data service entity to connect and like fetch the data. Okay, transforming the data, once you have the data inside your data set, thereafter you need to do all these data cleansing in terms of like whatever is not required, just remove it, add few new columns based on like the columns that are included inside this. Yep, so a very typical example can be like if we have got like a daily wage of $100 and there are 5 days for which I have worked, then in the report if I want to show a total kind of like wages that has been distributed or total reimbursement that has happened, so I would like to multiply it, or I would like to do some sort of like formula calculation. So that is something that we can do it very easily at data set level. Okay, so you can see here that in this report over here, right? So this is data set, whatever like new columns that you have to create. Any column that you don't want, you can easily go ahead and delete it, or you can go on adding new columns. Whatever you have to do, this is something that you can very easily do from here. Okay. This is showing us a different visualization of this chart that are available that we can use within Power BI. So it will absolutely depend on your business requirement that what exactly your users actually want to view. Okay. Once you have the report, thereafter, basically like up to the time you have created the report, you will be working in Power BI desktop. Okay. And once you have published this report to Office 365, thereafter what we can do is that we can create dashboards using this report directly inside Power BI service. That means you will have to go to Power BI service that is on the Office 365, and you can create one page Power BI dashboard which will include all your visualizations. Okay. So we can simply like go ahead and we create dashboard by pinning visuals from reports. Now once this is done, thereafter we can go ahead, and I showed you that how with the help of natural language processing you can ask several queries in the dashboard and start working with it. Okay. Once this is done, thereafter you simply go ahead and collaborate with other users, whatever like dashboard that you have created. You can very well go ahead and share it with other users in the organization, and they can access your dashboard. So in the next section, I'll show you a demo on how we can create a Power BI report step by step. Okay.